What is going down? What the fuck is going down? It's your boy, StudioMaguyver, and you are listening to StudioMaguyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast. I have a crazy show for you guys today, man. It is going to be a crazy show. A lot of things crazy has been happening. I'm under the weather, so please forgive me if I sound a little funny. Developing a cold. No, it's not COVID. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now. But it's not going to stop me from this episode, guys. Today is, man, I have a lot to talk about. It's so much news. I feel like a big fucking nerd today because there's actually some wrestling news, just a little bit of wrestling news. If you are any bit of a wrestling fan or used to be a wrestling fan, you probably heard about this. I'm going to talk about that. I'm also going to get into some Dragon Ball shit. Yes, I told you guys every week I'm going to have a Dragon Ball segment of some kind, and that is what we're going to do for you guys. Going to be talking about the chapter 75 manga chapter, and I can't wait to get into this because I have so many things to discuss with that. And then, going to have a light discussion on the new movie that's coming out in 2022. Just, nothing that I haven't really not touched on before, but I just want to refresh because I heard some things some of the big boys out there in this Dragon Ball community have been talking, and it kind of makes sense. I'm going to match some things up. I'm going to mention some of the things that they were talking about and then give you my thoughts on that. And then also we have some video game stuff. It's been the fucking week of demos. All right. So many fucking demos came out. I was privy to playing a few of them. You have the open beta from the Diablo II open beta. We also had a couple other ones I'm going to dive into, and I can't wait to talk about. There was a game that is actually available. Well, the demo's available now, and it caught me off guard. It's an indie game of all things, and I can't wait to talk about this game, guys. I had some fucking fun with this game this past weekend, and I can't wait to dive into that. Yeah, so let's begin the show. Also, I did watch some Dragon Ball, a Dragon Ball movie, another one of these movies. I want to talk a little bit about that as well. So let's just get started with the show. This is podcast episode 229. Goddamn, we're almost at 230 episodes, guys. So yeah, man, I can't. It's crazy. But anyway, let's begin. What should I start? Let's go with okay. Let's go with the wrestling news. It's on the top of the list. Let's go with that. If you guys have been hiding on a rock, then you may have missed this announcement. And the announcement is CM Punk. CM Punk has finally fucking returned to wrestling, and he debuted on AEW. Okay, now I've talked a little bit in the past about wrestling and what AEW has done for the sport of wrestling, and it's been beautiful, man. It's been beautiful to sit in the back and watch. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I told you guys this before. My longtime listeners heard me say this, but when it comes to wrestling, I haven't watched any of it recently. I mean, I'm living in the heyday, the Monday Night Wars, that type of stuff, when WCW was still around. That's when I used to watch it. I was a kid then, but now it's just grew stale on me, I guess you could say. And the WWE product has been subpar at best. And AEW comes out of the blue. Tony Khan and his father and all these guys, they decide they had a dream and they wanted to make something, percolate. So they did. And to my dismay, well, no, to my joy, shall I say, it's become something of a phenomenon. You know what I mean? I mean, it's a lot of stuff that they have done that it makes you feel like a kid again. At least it makes me feel like that. It makes me want to watch wrestling again because it's actually wrestling. It's not a show. It's not a Broadway show, because that's kind of, to me, what WWE is now. It's a fucking show, and it's a boring show at that. Okay? And then behind the scenes, if you pull back the curtain, there's been a lot of grief. There's been a lot of fuckery. Listening to wrestlers, listening to, employees, they're not a very good company behind the scenes. At least that's what I gather. Okay, I've done a little research, pulled back that curtain, and I've seen some things, heard some things, and then they're not all good. And then CM Punk is one of those guys who basically told his story, his WWE story, why he left, how they did him, and he's not the only one. Okay, but I'm saying all that to say this: AEW is, I think, here to stay, and I think that if you're a WWE fan or if you're Vince McMahon, you should be very afraid. You should be very worried right now, very concerned, okay, about your product. Now, let me just say this. I'm not saying that WWE is going to, fade away and be taken out, because let's keep it real with each other. That's not going to happen. WWE is still going to have its fans. They're still going to make their money. They're still going to be around. They're not going anywhere. But I'm saying all that to say, as far as competition is concerned, we're looking at another. It feels like I'm back in the Monday Night Wars. It feels like I am looking at two companies competing with each other now, and AEW right now is looking the better for it. They're treating their wrestlers a lot better. They're giving them a lot more creative freedom. There's a lot of things going on behind the scenes at AEW that WWE will kill themselves before they let, those type of things take place. And I think that's a detriment to that company. I really do, man. Especially when you look at wrestlers like CM Punk, and if you, let's name another one, Daniel Bryan. He's rumored to be going towards AEW as well. No, fuck that. He's not rumored. He's going. So be looking out for that debut shortly after. Okay, those guys came up together. They wrestled back in Ring of Honor together, and that's where they got their names. That's where they got their start. That's how they even got to WWE in the first place. So looking at these guys, seeing the direction where AEW, seeing that direction that they're headed in, it makes me feel nostalgic. It makes me feel like a kid again, and it makes me want to watch this product, man. I mean, if you have not seen CM Punk's debut, go to YouTube and look that shit up. I mean, it would give anybody goosebumps, man. Okay, I haven't seen a debut like that since Chris Jericho debuted for WWE when he came from WCW. Okay, I mean, that was one of the biggest pops I've ever heard in my fucking life. And this one, it's barely, but it did take the cake. All right, so this is going to be definitely a moment cemented in wrestling history, right there with the Y2J debut in WWE, in my personal opinion. That's just me. That's how I feel. But yeah, man, having a great time. It's a great time to be a wrestling fan. It's a great time, if you were a wrestling fan, to become one again. You know what I'm saying? And I think that AEW is going to make WWE better. It's going to keep them on their fucking toes. That's for damn sure. And the wrestlers are going to reap the benefits of it. Anytime you have companies like this going at each other, the wrestlers are going to win. So a lot of wrestlers that have been mistreated and been fed up with a lot of the stuff, you're going to see them in AEW now. And that's a good thing, because WWE has a lot of fucking talent that they don't know what to do with. They have shitty writing, and they just don't know what the fuck they're doing. And as a result of that, you have a lot of disgruntled employees, and they're not going to be there any longer. You're going to see a lot of wrestlers moving from WWE to AEW, and that's always a good thing, because AEW, to me, it's a wrestlers federation. Okay, they're for the wrestler. Okay, they're going to make sure that they treat their employees fair, and they're going to make sure they do right by them, if they don't do anything else at all. And if you know Tony Khan, or if you peeped his demeanor, if you've watched him, you can kind of feel that in the air. You can kind of feel that glowing off of his soul, so to speak. I mean, it is what it is. He's full of life. You can tell he loves the sport of wrestling. He loves all of it, and that's what he wants. He's got some of my all-time favorites there now, and he's treating them like fucking royalty, as they should be treated. And it's just beautiful, and it's dope to see. So with that being said, I just wanted to, touch on that real quick. Yes, CM Punk has returned. If you have not seen that, check out that video, guys. It's just straight up atypical CM Punk, from the glory days, and he's back, and he's going to be here for a while. So he's not going anywhere, so be looking for him. Matter of fact, I think September 5th is the pay-per-view that they're having. So I think him and Darby Allin are going to be a thing, and I cannot wait. Sting is also involved in this, and that's one of my all-time favorites. So it's just going to be dope to see. All right, let's move on down the line, shall we? I want to talk about some games. Okay, I'm going to get into some demos, but first, before I do that, I want to talk about a couple games that came out, one in particular, and I'm talking about Madden. Okay, Madden 22, it's here. Madden is here, guys, but Madden is trash. Now, I personally used to buy Maddens every fucking year, like clockwork. Every fucking year I was there to get that Madden fix, and I haven't done it in years now. It's been a while, and it was really because I realized what EA was doing. as a company. EA was basically taking a game, copy and pasting certain things, and giving it to the public and reselling it. Basically, they were pulling out warm butter, and they were using it promptly on my person. They were pulling down my garments. They were hitting me over the head with a foreign object. They were doing all this stuff, okay, dousing me with fucking sake, and they were getting straight to it. And I wasn't the only person. They've been doing it for years to a lot of people, and a lot of people got fed up, me included, and I stopped buying the game. And I said, I'm not going to buy this game again until they actually give me something new, fresh, and innovative, or even stuff that they used to have in some of their older games that they just they took away from their games. Okay, they took a product and they said, let's strip the game, the next one, of these things, so we can reinsert some of these things slowly into upcoming titles year in and year out. That's all they were doing. They didn't want to give us too much. They didn't want to make the game too good. I personally think Madden as a game, as a franchise, should put out one excellent game. Okay, creme de la creme, put all their eggs in that basket, and then just fucking update. Use updates. That's it. I think updated rosters, updated everything else. I think that's the way to go, instead of this every year shit trying to make somebody pay another $65, $75 if you're talking about the new consoles. Pay that money for nothing new. I mean, a couple different changes here and there, but it's the same old fucking Madden, guys. Okay, go check out the reviews if you want. I used to love playing Madden, but the fucked up thing about all of this is the monopoly system. They have a monopoly system, kind of like how 2K and the WWE have. They have a monopoly system where they bought the rights to fucking simulation football games. Nobody else can make a game similar. In other words, they don't have the license for NFL to do these realistic football games right now. So the only competition is EA. They don't have to worry about anything. So that's why they're taking full advantage of this bullshit. They paid all that money so they could turn around and fuck the consumer. Pull out that warm butter and wash, rinse, and repeat. All right? But not before they take sips of tall glasses of sake, and not before they roll up their fucking scrolls and smoke them. Okay? I'm just keeping it real. I got to be honest with you guys. I love you. You're my listeners. You're here to listen, and I'm here to talk. So that's where we're at on that. And if you're thinking about buying Madden, please don't do it. Don't do it. Wait until they fix this shit. And I think what's going to happen, we're not going to see any real improvements. We're not going to see a game worth buying, in my personal opinion, for another few years. Okay? For another few years. I think their contract is up within a few years as well, if I'm not mistaken. But we're not going to see that because this is a brand new system. They're putting this on, so we have new consoles. Anytime you're switching from one to the other, it's going to be bare bones. Okay, they don't know the hardware as much as they would like to, so they're not going to incorporate a lot of things into the next game yet. And then it's also cross-platform as well, so you got to take that into consideration. So you're not going to see this change, quote unquote, on a real Madden game for another few years, in my personal opinion. We'll see. I'll keep counting down the days, and we'll discuss this again, because there will be another time when we discuss this. I promise you, because I used to love Madden and in their heyday, and I miss playing football games. I'm not gonna lie. I miss going online and picking my squad and putting them out there in the digital streets. I do, but I'm not going to bow down to these corporate fuck boys and girls who think that putting out the same putting out the same product and snowing the consumers, thinking that they're just going to get over. Because most of us are not inclined to step back and really observe the situation. A lot of the casual players, you know what I mean? But if you're like a gamer like I am, you see the writing on the wall. You can read between the lines and you see all this type of stuff. This is the stuff I cover. This is the stuff I'm into. So, it's different for me. You know what I mean? That's just my humble opinion. All right. But yeah, if you're thinking about getting Madden, save your money, put it on something else. Don't waste your money. All right. That's just coming from a guy who used to be a Madden guy, and I'm not anymore. Okay. Now, moving on to the next lecture, next subject, whatever you want to call it, at hand. I want to talk a little bit about movies. Let's talk. Well, you know what? I was going to go there I was gonna go to the next Dragon Ball movie that I saw, but I'll wait. I'll wait till I get into Dragon Ball talk, and then I'll just combine everything with the Dragon Ball talk. So let me move to another game, 2K. It's coming from the 2K series this time, and we're talking about WWE 2K22. All right, now if you're a fan of the series and you play the games, I am a fan of wrestling games. I do play those. The last one I bought was 2K19, which was Ukes as a company was working on this, and they have left after that. And since then, that franchise has been a dumpster fire. Okay, they can't seem to find their head from their ass, and they, I think, kind of jumped the gun when they parted ways with Ukes, because they assumed that they were going to be able to just pick up and go as they normally would, and that Ukes was not going to be a detriment to them, and it turned out to be completely the opposite. And now we're looking at a new wrestling game, which is going to be 2K 2022, not coming out in the usual October that it comes out on. Those games come out October of every year. I told you the fiasco. I spoke about this a couple episodes ago where, 1 year they didn't even put one out because the game was so fucking bad the year before, and they didn't know what the fuck they were doing, and they didn't want to put all the money and resources into that, only to be, shit on by the reviewers and not even bought by the fans. And look, let's keep it real with each other. They did that to themselves. Okay, they put the cart before the horse. They didn't have another company like Ukes, or even better than Ukes, so to speak, to come in and pick up the reins when they parted ways from them, which I think they never should have done in the first place. But they were trying to cut corners, in my personal opinion, and they didn't want to pay Ukes, and they thought they could do it themselves, and it ended up biting them in the ass, and that's where they are. And this 2K22 game here is not coming out for 7 months, which is March, okay? A March release date for this game. There's no gameplay footage, guys. They had a trailer that just dropped, which is literally maybe a minute long, and they only showed glimpses of the game. You can't really show anything with that much time, okay? That's not telling anybody anything. If you're asking me, it's making people nervous. It's making me nervous. I know that. And if you have no gameplay, you have nothing to really dive into. What are you expecting, the consumers to play? What are you expecting them to look forward to if they don't know what's going on? So I can't wait for the reviews to come out on this. We still got a long way to go, but doesn't look good, guys. Doesn't look good. It's for the simple fact that they're not releasing it in October. Is telling me that they're still scrambling. They still don't know what the fuck is going on. There's still a lot of glitches. There's still a lot of things that need to be worked out, and they don't think they're gonna have enough time. All right, March, I don't even think they're gonna be ready in March. I really don't. It's gonna be a subpar product at best. I'm really hoping that it's something decent, because I'm really looking forward to playing a new game, but I don't know. I think this game is going to come out with a lot of features missing. I'm throwing this out there. It's just a shot in the dark, but I'm thinking they're going to do that so that they can get ready to add it to the next game, to 2023, and try to make us feel like, oh, we're getting something new when we should have had it because it was in past games. I hate when companies do that, man. I really do. You put out a product and you take shit out of it that it used to have, and you make people think that, oh, they're getting something when you put it in the next game. That is so fucking retarded to me, and I cannot stand that practice. But we'll see. Only time will tell. I just thought I'd put that on the table for you guys. Anybody looking forward to playing that game, or maybe you didn't know when it was coming out, or whatever. All right, let's move on, and let's go to Demo Land. Let's go to Demo World, Demo Land, whatever you want to call it. There's a lot of fucking demos out here, guys, and I've played a few of them this past week. All right, I played 3 of them. All right, I'm going to talk a little bit about Diablo 2, the open beta, which took place. Now, a lot of you guys may be mad at me for saying this, because I used to play the old Diablo games. Matter of fact, Diablo 3, and I think a little bit of Diablo 2 in the past, okay? But, sometimes when you play a game, or you remember how a game played, or you thought you remember how a game played years ago, and then you get your hands on it again, and you realize that was just nostalgia. You realize that it's not the same game. It doesn't slap like it used to. That's kind of how like Skyrim did for me. I tried to pick up Skyrim not too long ago, and the combat has aged so bad to me. The slow swings of the weapons and it's not the same. It's just not the same for me. That's just my opinion. And you can't lie to yourself. You can't tell yourself, oh, because everybody else likes it, you want to like it. You really want that to happen, but you can't control your emotions, how you truly feel. Okay, it just didn't do it for me. Diablo's the same way. Diablo 2, the open beta. I mean, yes, improved graphics, cool. It just, me and a friend downloaded it, tried to play it. He liked it. He's into it. He already pre-ordered the game. Me personally, I did not, and I'm glad that I didn't, because it would have been a waste of money. Even though I think it's $40 for the basic package, I'm just not into it. I'm just not into it. It just didn't do it for me, and I knew the first 5 minutes of playing that I was not going to dedicate time, in getting or doing more in this game. So with a broken heart, I have to say that Diablo 2 is not going to be for me. If some of you guys listening, hey, if you love Diablo, more power to you. I'm so happy for you, and have a great time when it comes out. I really mean that. But for me personally, it's not my cup of tea. So I had to put it on the table and walk away. Now, there is another demo that did pick me up off my feet, and that I will be buying. Probably one of the only AAA games that I'll be buying this year, because the ones I really want aren't coming out this year, and I called that as well. And one of those games, which there is a demo available. Everything I'm naming now, there is a demo right now. You can go out and fucking download. Please do. Please do. And I'm talking about Tales of Arise. Tales of Arise, Bandai Namco knocked this one out of the park. Cannot wait to get my hands on the full game. This is the best Tales game that, cosmetically that I've seen. The story has yet to be, judged, because it's not out, but they always do decent stories. I really get a kick out of the stories, and the graphics have always been decent, for the most part. They have the cell shaded type of thing, got an anime kind of swag to it, which is my stilo. I love it. And Tales of Arise is no different. It's just a lot more beautiful, in my opinion. And I played the demo for the Xbox Series S, and gotta tell you, man, it's the shit. I can't wait to get into it. I can't wait to play more. I think they give you a choice of 6 different characters when the demo starts, and the character you choose is the one you'll be maining for the course of the demo. Now, you can switch between characters and certain things, but the ending that you get after the demo is finished is the ending of the character you first choose when you get that opportunity, when it first starts. So if you want to get a different ending, then pick another character and play it like that. So I have only played one character right now, but I plan on playing at least 2 or 3 more of these characters before I'm done with the demo. And the game comes out, I want to believe, October. Yeah, October. I can't remember the exact date. I've announced all these things in the past, guys, but it does come out in October, and I cannot fucking wait for this game. This is, my type of open world, semi-open world RPG, action RPG, or JRPG, however you want to pronounce it, or what you want to call it. But yes, this is right up my alley, and I cannot wait. I mean, the combat is ridiculous. The combat is oh so lovely. I mean, there's gameplay galore on YouTube. You can definitely check it out if you're curious and you want to know more about this. Please do that. And then, I'd say just fucking download the demo and get right to it, if you ask me. So yeah, please check this one out, guys. If you haven't downloaded it yet, download the demo. I think the demo is available everywhere, PS4, all platforms for the most part, except for Nintendo Switch, I think. And you owe it to yourself to download this and play this demo. I'm serious. If you're into action RPGs, if you're into those JRPGs, you have to fuck with this one. At least give it a shot and tell me what you think, because it's nice. It's really fucking nice. All right. Next on the list, this one came out of nowhere, and this is an indie title, but this is a title that I am proud to announce that I will be dropping my money ASAP. Okay, as soon as fucking possible. It's coming to Nintendo Switch and the PS4. Okay, and this game goes by the name of Ultra Age. Now, I can't believe I've never heard of this game. This one I can't remember how I discovered it. I was looking, I think I saw a preview. Oh, I think YouTube had a commercial or a little trailer, okay, of this game. And I saw the gameplay, And I said, oh shit, this is some nasty shit. It's an action RPG, JRPG, semi-open world type of game. Those are my kind of my cup of tea, my favorite type of, franchises, if you will. And, I love these games that come out of left field. I love the games that you never see coming. Okay, you never see coming. You don't think you're gonna, or even if you see the trailer, you're like, okay, I'm interested, but let's play it and see. And when you play it, then you really fall in love with it. This is what this game did to me. All right, I love the way it plays. It's called Ultra Age. I'll say it again. And you can download the demo right now on Nintendo Switch. You can also download it right now on the fucking PS4. It's only going to be $25, $24.99, which is even sweeter. I was ready to pay full price or damn near close to it, but I am definitely getting this one, guys. This one comes out September 9th, next month, right around the corner. And you gotta experience this one. For an indie game, this one slaps. Okay, this one definitely fucking slaps. And you can tell the graphics are decent, though. The graphics are decent. I mean, you can tell it's not a AAA game. You can definitely tell that as far as graphics are concerned, but they're not by any stretch shitty graphics. Please don't get it twisted. All right, don't get it twisted. This is a upper tier indie game. It's an indie game, but it's right there on the cusp of, it's the creme de la creme of the indies. So if you're thinking indie games and like, there's different layers to this shit, is what I'm saying. And this is definitely one of the upper, this is a top flight indie game. Looks to be top flight. I mean, the combat is ridiculous. That's the part that really sold me on this, was the combat. You have a different array of weapons. You have like different swords. They do different things, different animations, different combos, and you can string them together when you switch the weapons. It's pretty dope. Okay, I mean, words can't describe what I'm trying to convey right now. You have to see it for yourself to believe it. And like I said, you can do it. You can just download the demo and there you have it. I think it's also coming out for PC. If I'm not mistaken, I'm not sure. But they do also plan to release a physical copy of this game. I think sometime in December, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't know. This is one of those games where those hidden gems where, you kind of just fall in love with the game and you're like, yo, they're going to be very scarce and you kind of want to get your hands on one of these. And I'm feeling that way about this game, Ultra Age. Now, I have to be honest, 100% honest with you guys. As far as, the game is, if I have to give it a score right now from the demo that I've played, I have to give it a 9 out of 10. And it would be higher, believe it or not, if it wasn't for one thing. Now, I haven't had a chance to dive in here and look and check out the options yet, but the one thing that I do not like about this game, and it's the only thing, it's the fucking voice acting. Okay, and that can make or break certain games for certain people. It's not going to do that for me with this game. All right, I'm willing to definitely look past that, and that's why it's got a 9 and not a 10, or not a 9.5 for me right now, or 9.75, okay? Right now, because the voice acting, the main protagonist's voice, whoever that is doing the voice, I don't know what they were thinking. It is terrible, okay? It feels like he is reading off of a sheet of paper, okay, verbatim. He there's no emotion. It's just very dry, stale, and his voice just sounds funny. Okay, all of that, and you'll understand what I'm saying when you play the demo. Please believe me. All right, if I can get this in Japanese with the English sub, I'm definitely doing that. Definitely doing that. So I'm gonna look into that. Didn't have time to look into that just yet, but yeah, that's it. As far as the challenge of the game, it's got a nice little challenge. I've died a few times in this game. Okay, so some of these enemies slap. Let me also say that. So you gotta kind of finesse. You can't just button mash. Okay, you gotta kind of move around and you gotta kind of learn your combos and how to link things together, which is a beautiful thing. If you ask me, yes, some enemies you can, do that too, but some enemies aren't gonna allow that. They're just not. Okay, and you're gonna be forced to kind of learn the combo system at least a little bit and how to link things together. And they do awesome things if you know the buttons. Once you start getting the buttons together for the different weapons and you can link them together and you start figuring out a style, how you want to approach it, it opens it up even more. So like I said, it is definitely a breath of fresh air, guys, this game here. And I highly fucking recommend you download Ultra Age ASAP. All right, if you're looking for something to play, because a lot of us, let's keep it real, we don't have PS5s, we can't find one. Even if we did have one, there's nothing to fucking play there. All right, and if you don't have an Xbox system, then you're looking for something to play. This is one of those games I highly recommend. Pick this shit up, play it. You won't be fucking sorry. I promise you. Ultra Age. Check that fucking game out. Check it out. All right, now we're done with that. Now we're done with all this. Let's get on some Dragon Ball shit, some Dragon Ball soup, some Dragon Ball, whatever you want to call it, Dragon Ball. All right. The first thing I want to talk about is a Dragon Ball movie I just brushed up on. I watched one of the Dragon Ball movies, and it was Dead Zone. Dead Zone, yes. And I think I got Dead Zone mixed up with Tree of Might. Okay. I don't know how, because everybody knows Turles for the most part, but I did. Tree of Might is slapping. Okay. But Dead Zone is punching. All right. Dead Zone, it was better than Tree of Might. Okay. It's funny. I encourage everybody to go back and watch these Dragon Ball movies, and even go back and watch your favorite anime, whether it's Dragon Ball, Naruto, whatever it is, at least every couple of years, go back, refresh, because we forget a lot of things. Okay. And if you consume as much anime as I consume, you're going to forget some shit. All right. You just are. I mean, I have a list of anime that I watch, and I try to put it on the list of ones that I complete. And I go back to that list every now and then, and I'm reading these names. I'm like, damn, I don't even remember this one, or I don't remember that one. But I put them on the list if I like them. If I really fuck with them, I put them on the list. I only put ones on there that I finish. I've started plenty more, and I didn't finish a lot of them. But I have dozens and dozens that are on that list, and some of them I can't even remember. So, you gotta reapproach some of them from time to time, even your favorites, even the ones you know a lot better than most. And you'll be surprised on what you discover. You'll be just surprised on what you find, what you've forgotten, because I have. Clearly, I was talking about Tree of Might was the greatest Dragon Ball movie. No, it wasn't. Okay, it's not. After watching some of these other movies, all right, Dead Zone is the shit. And I would have still kept thinking that it was Tree of Might if I didn't go back to watch some of these movies. And I'm still not done. I still have to watch The World's Strongest, and there's still a couple other ones that I want to readdress. I still need to see the Bardock movie. I want to see the history of Trunks again. I'm just going through these movies now. And I'll reassess the situation again. But I have forgot it was Garlic Jr. this whole time in the fucking Dead Zone. And then I remembered the Garlic Jr. saga, which was basically filler if you're going to be a nerd about it, in the Dragon Ball Z franchise, which I thought was a pretty decent, portion of filler for what it was. You got to see Krillin shine. He had his own adventures. Him and Piccolo and Gohan, they had their little, adventures out there, and they were doing their thing, man. I thought it was kind of cool. It wasn't focused on Goku and them. It was focused on, some other characters. I think Dragon Ball should do more of that, man. I would really like to see them do more of that. And I'm going to segue into that, talking about this Dragon Ball movie, because I think that we're headed in that direction, at least a little bit, with this movie. And I say that because I've been listening to a lot of people who follow Dragon Ball, and a lot of fans of Dragon Ball talk and discuss what is going to be coming in this movie, what they think is going to happen, and showing videos, showing clips, showing certain sections of the previews, and pinpointing certain frame shots and what they think, and a lot of it makes a lot of fucking sense to me. While we're on Dragon Ball, though, I have to bring a little attention to my shirt. All right, my shirt that I'm wearing right now. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, my shirt, I had found this in the closet. Knew it was always in there, but it was buried deep down, and I'm glad I found it. And it's one of these shirts that I really means a lot to me because you guys know I'm a big Tien Shinhan fan. New listeners, if you're new to the show, now you know I love that character. He's my second favorite character all time in Dragon Ball, period. And found this shirt, man, and I said, you know what, let me throw this on. Let's throw this on today. I didn't do shit today but lounge around in the house. Perfect lounge around in the house shirt. Or you can go out and do things with it too. Like I love this fucking shirt. And I just happy that I found it. That's basically it. So I'm sure somebody watching this is probably wondering, yo, what the fuck? Yeah, that's me. That's my boy, okay? I am a Tien Shinhan fan, and I'm a representer in this bitch, all right? And watch your mouth if you have anything to say about him. That's all I'm going to say. Just watch your mouth. Take a couple steps back because you just don't know your history, okay? If you know your history, then we can talk, all right? But this guy here has a lot going for him, and, you know, hopefully some of that is brought to the light in the future. I hope so. But anyway, let's just go on back what I was talking about. And we're talking about the Dragon Ball Super movie. I think it's called Dragon Ball Super Superhero. Okay. Yeah, the name is crazy. I'm just going to say that. But most people, okay, when it comes to what they think as far as the plot and all these other things are concerned, everybody's leaning towards Pan as a character, kind of like an origin story, her origin story. Okay, because you remember as a baby, you know, she was flying around and shit. So she's definitely got a future, I think. They're trying to, you know, introduce, I think, what it seems like, and what a lot of other people think, they're trying to kind of introduce her into the Dragon Ball world. And a lot of people were saying that they're showing us this Goku little trailer that they showed us, which really was Goku just jumping around, stretching, getting ready for a fight. If you look at the Dragon Ball Broly movie, Dragon Ball Super Broly movie, there was the same animation, except for it wasn't 3D. And I think they're doing that with this movie. Well, at least some people think this. They think that they're just kind of trying to snow us a little bit. And I don't think Goku is going to be the main protagonist in this. A lot of people are pointing at Piccolo and Pan. And they say that because think about the shots that they were shown and things that they said they were going to be presented in this movie. Piccolo's house. You got Piccolo's location on where he lives. I mean, since when have they done that? That's got to be a primary location spot if they're talking about bringing this stuff into the movie. And then Piccolo as a character, period. I mean, he's going to definitely be a main character, which I'm cool and excited about because, like I said, Piccolo is one of my favorite characters. Top 5 all day, okay, in the Dragon Ball universe. So getting to see him with some focus on him, hopefully we're going to see some dope fights. I mean, that's what they were saying. Toriyama and Toyotaro were talking about. They were saying that we're going to have some dope fighting sequences in this. Now, the question is who it's going to be with. That has yet to be seen. We have a few screenshots of certain characters, and, you know, I'm sure some of these guys will be involved. And I'm interested to see, you know, what Piccolo has done, because like I said, this is a time skip, about 5 years or so. So what has happened within those 5 years with these characters? And they also mentioned that there's going to be other characters that they haven't revealed yet. Hopefully they're talking about the Z Warriors, Z Fighters, whatever you want to call them. They're talking about those guys, and we get to see their new appearances and new looks, because they claim that we're gonna get some new looks for some of these guys. Okay, and if you notice, you know, when we get new movies, typically we get different versions of these characters, whether they're wearing different clothes or they maybe change the hairstyle or whatever. Even Krillin, I mean, yes, he's a cop, he's in cop uniform, but even his eyes, his design was different. So I'm anxious. You know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about Tien. I want to see what they've done with him. I want to see if they've shit on him or not, because I still think he's a very, very capable character as far as getting a Zenkai boost, as far as growth and how he's able to grow moving forward. Because like I said, and I'll say it again, and I'll say it forever, he's the only character that I know personally that I can think of, besides, of course, Goku and Vegeta, who has never stopped training, who's always training, who's always trained from day one since Dragon Ball, since we first laid eyes on him in Dragon Ball when he was with the Crane School, all the way till present day. Okay? Tien is always doing that. So to say that, hopefully they finally got their heads out of their asses and they say, okay, let's do something different with Tien. Let's give him a boost. Let's give him a new technique, a new ability, just something. I mean, it's safe to assume that most of these characters are going to be stronger than they once were after a 5-year time skip, unless they just said, fuck it, I retired and I'm not fighting anymore. That's the only way. All right. I don't see Tien doing that. I don't see these other guys doing that. Some of them guys. Now I can see Krillin doing it because he's done it before. Yamcha's done it before as well. Case in point. Those two guys have retired before, have hung up their gis and walked away. Now, and they've come back, but Tien has never done that. So let's see if there's going to be a plot hole in that with that character or not. All right. But aside from that, aside from Tien, because a lot of people don't give a fuck, and that's cool. You know what I mean? Gohan is another character. All right. You got Piccolo in here. You got Gohan's daughter in here. What is going to happen with Gohan? I don't know, man. I don't know what they have in store for this guy. I don't. Is he going to, what kind of, I don't know. I mean, it makes sense that Piccolo would definitely be in this because Piccolo is like Gohan's other father. And you could even say if he's like Gohan's second father, he's got to be, Pan's, third grandfather, technically. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm just keeping it real. I mean, that's what it is. He's always around Gohan. He's babysit before plenty of times. So they're a family. I mean, in essence, they're a fucking family. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens with this. Could it be Gohan? Could it be Piccolo and Pan coming of age, light origin story kind of thing happening here? Who knows, man? But that's where all the fingers are pointing. All right. That's where all the fingers are starting to point. And I don't know. I mean, will we see Vegeta here? I mean, I hope we do. But with this 5-year time skip, there's talks of Oob being, somewhere in this movie, I mean, it could go any direction. They said to get ready for a character that we haven't seen for a while. It's going to be a surprise. So I don't know, guys. I mean, sure, as time goes by, we're going to get more and more information. This might be a light slice of life kind of story with some of that mixed in there too. I don't know. But with this 5-year time skip, I'm also interested to see about Trunks and Gotenks, of course. Will they make an appearance? If they do, will we see teenage versions of them? I think we're going to see different versions, man. I think they're finally going to say, look, this time skip, we're changing everybody's appearance. Let's do that. And that also includes Trunks and Gotenks. All right. And hopefully this sets up something for the future. Okay. Because after these arcs, these other Dragon Ball Super arcs, hopefully, this segues into something else, like some new adventures, and maybe kind of steering away lightly or slightly steering away from Goku, Vegeta, those guys, and more so to the younger generation. You know what I mean? Kind of like a Boruto kind of thing, but better. And maybe they could keep it going with the OGs, and they can still do something for the kids, for the kiddos, whatever you want to call it. I mean, that'd be awesome, I think. You know what I mean? A show dedicated to, Trunks and Gotenks, their adventures, Pan, all of those kids, doing their own fucking thing. Their mentors, of course, or people who maybe train them, like Piccolo. You might train them. Tien or some of these other guys could train them. I mean, Tien is already a martial arts master. He has his own school. That would be believable. There's a number of different ways they could go with this. God damn it, man. And they really could. So I'm just anxious to see where all this is headed. And I think everybody is, for the most part. Yeah. And that's where I'm at right now. I mean, that's where we're at. That's what has been going on. That's what people are talking about in this universe. And it's going to be fun to see what really happens. Now, I have to break open the last segment of this podcast, guys, and that last segment has to do with Dragon Ball Super Chapter 75. Got to do it, and I say this with a very heavy head. Vegeta lost. Okay, everything, all my fears have come true. Not just mine. If you go around on YouTube and you go out on social media and you look out at all of the people who cover Dragon Ball, the fans of Dragon Ball, you'll see that there's a lot of upset people. And that word is, I'm using it lightly, because it's the same old, man, with Vegeta, man. Okay? Build him up, tear him down. Build him up, tear him down. Give him a new ability, tear him down. Oh, they'll let him breathe a little bit. Yes, they'll let him think he's winning. They'll let us think he's really going to take that next leap. And then they tear him down. Okay? It's almost like they're wasting that form. And I say almost because we've seen this in Dragon Ball, especially with the Saiyans. They get these abilities. They get them for a little bit. They do damage. They can't necessarily control it. They lose control of it. And then they get handled. And usually it's on Vegeta's side more so. But it happens to Goku as well, because they haven't mastered it yet. Okay, y'all have to remember as well, this form of his, it's a new form, and it does have a name, and it goes by Ultra Ego. Okay, Ultra Instinct, Goku. Ultra Ego, Vegeta. Basically, the more enraged he becomes, the stronger he becomes, the stronger he gets. Kind of like the Incredible Hulk, kind of like Brawly in a sense. That's what this is. Okay, but it's very fresh, and he has not mastered it. Just like Ultra Instinct was not mastered, and still not technically mastered all the way with Goku, if you ask me. So there's a little merit to this, but still, the way it looked, the way if you saw the manga, it should have been game over. It should have been game over, but it wasn't. So there's a lot of people salty out there, a lot of Vegeta fans like myself who are pretty salty about this. And I think we just need to get our minds settled and onto the fact that that's just what Dragon Ball is when it comes to Vegeta as a character. You know, kind of like how Yamcha's the joke character, and I just think Vegeta is always chasing Goku, and I think that Toriyama and Toyotaro, they just want it that way. They don't want to fucking steer away from that. I mean, there's nothing wrong, in my opinion, with a little bit of shaking it up, changing some shit up, you know, for the sake of doing it, for shock value, just to bust this shit wide open sometimes. And I think that they need to do that. And, you know, I don't want to say, oh, I'm speaking out of line because it's not over yet and anything can happen, but I think we all know the answers. I'd be super surprised if it went any other way. I mean, more than that. I'm sure a lot of us could say that, but I don't know, man. I don't know what to think anymore. I mean, but what I've seen and what we've all seen is the same dog and pony show when it comes to Vegeta and Goku and how their dynamics work in the series. And that's where I'm at with that. You know? I don't know. Apparently, during the fight, Vegeta took way too much damage because he would basically let Granola hit him. Okay? Making him angrier, making him, you know, thirst for fighting even more, and making him in return stronger. But what happened was he took too much damage, and then in the process, he ended up damaging his body to the point to where his new form, you know, basically started to trickle away. He started to lose it. So, in essence, he killed himself. I mean, in a sense, he's not dead, you know, he's not dead, but he lost. He got fucked up pretty bad, okay? And as a result of that, he also made Granola stronger. Because apparently Granola, when he wished for to become the strongest of an universe or whatever you want to call it, the way it works, they didn't just give him the power. Okay, yeah, they granted his wish, but the wish has to be manifested through him doing it. In other words, he had to work at it. He had to unlock it himself. He had to fight and actually push himself to achieve those limits that apparently he would not be able to achieve if not for that wish he made. So keep in mind, their race has incredible eyesight. Okay, sniper eye. I forgot the exact name they call it, but one of his eyes is a different color, and it's because of the gift that their race has, and it allows him to, pinpoint weak points on anybody, and it gives him that pinpoint accuracy. Well, now both his eyes are awoken. His other eye has awoken, and it didn't happen until he fought this. He had this drag out war with Vegeta, and it unlocked that, and it made him stronger. He basically broke the chains that was holding him, and now he's on another plateau. He's on another level, and Vegeta's on the ground, fucked up. But what put Vegeta on the ground was Vegeta becoming desperate, in a sense, sensing his power was leaving him, and his body started to betray him. So he decided to do one last attack. Basically, he developed this big ass energy ball, and he was gonna basically destroy anything in the vicinity. But the main thing he wanted to destroy was Granola, of course. And Granola saw this and shot one of his own beams into this ball, this energy ball, whatever you want to call it. Kind of reminds me of like what Frieza had, on planet Namek for destroying the planet and whatnot. I don't think it was that serious though. And it ended up detonating right on top of Vegeta. Okay, and that was the end of that. And the chapter basically ends with the Hidas, the other group that were introduced in the very beginning, a group of people he made a deal with earlier on, but them touching down on the planet and trying to find the Dragon Balls. Apparently they located the first one. They found a location and they were headed there. So they're trying to get these Dragon Balls, and I think what's going to happen now is somehow the Hidas are going to betray Granola in some form or fashion. They're going to clash. Hida's going to, not the Hidas, but Granola's going to realize that he fucked up and he actually needs help. And Goku and Vegeta are going to be the ones to come together, and they're going to try to take out the Hidas. And I think the Hidas are going to get that wish made as well. So, because without it, let's face it, they're not fucking with those guys. They're not fucking with Goku. They're not fucking with Vegeta's new form or Granola and his fucking newfound power. Okay, so they're gonna make a wish of their own. I don't know what their wish is gonna be, but it's gonna be something devastational, and that's where the war and the battle's gonna ensue. Now, the only question after that I have is, what about the other characters? Will there be cameos? Will we have any other characters joining the fray here? I don't think so. I hope so. Maybe a Jiren sighting, maybe. I don't know. Maybe Gohan actually grown some nuts, and they're not castrating him this time. Hopefully they leave something to be desired. I don't know. I mean, it's up in the air. I just think Gohan is one of the biggest plot holes in all of Dragon Ball, because this guy was once the most powerful being in, well, I'm not going to say the universe because you have Beerus and all those guys, but he was up there as far as everybody else, his peers. He was the one. Okay, I'm talking about Goku. I'm talking about Stronger Than Vegeta. All these guys, and now he is a fucking side character. He's barely even that now. Okay, you throw some glasses on him, you slim him down, you throw him in a fucking tracksuit, or you put on some suit and tie on his ass, and then you fucking plant him down as a fucking scrub. Okay, let's get it together. Let's hopefully get these guys on the right track, and hopefully they can change the game with this. Only time will tell, though. Only time will tell, because like I said, he's not in this so far up to this point. He's not in the manga, therefore he won't be in the anime like that. Yeah, we'll see shots of him. We may see a slice of life episode with him drinking tea with his mother, but other than that, guys, I don't foresee Gohan being relevant in this arc, because he damn sure wasn't in the last arc. So we can only hope and see. And I think that this 5-year time skip is definitely going to give us some insight on what may come leading up to, after we see this movie, leading up to after what's going to take place after this Granola arc. Because, they could still do a couple more arcs, 2 or 3 more arcs before this movie. And that's another thing. How do you guys handle that? What are Goku and Vegeta's powers like now after this 5-year time skip? If you show them in this movie, you're gonna have to show something, and maybe they don't even fight. Maybe they focus on, like I said, maybe they're not even there. Okay, Maybe they're all on vacation or something like that. I mean, Toriyama is known for doing that. He's done that before, okay, with characters. And it's focused. This movie is focusing on another group of characters. I mean, I'm cool with that personally because I would like to see other people shine in essence, but still, people are gonna wonder, what is Vegeta doing? What is Goku doing? What is 5 years from now? Like, what have they accomplished? You know what I mean? And then it's gonna go back to the manga. Okay, after the Granola arc, what's going on? Because that'll be wrapped up before this movie comes out, and then it's gonna be like, okay, well, what's going to happen after the Granola arc? What's next? Okay, so it's gonna be a lot up in the air, man, in this next year. So I'm excited. I can't wait to get more into it with you guys and talk more about it. I'm also thinking about starting a Dragon Ball YouTube channel. Okay, just me talking about Dragon Ball shit, discussing Dragon Ball things, playing Dragon Ball games, that type of stuff, guys. I'm thinking about it now. I think I'm gonna go push play on it, and it's gonna take time to develop. I'm gonna develop content for it and all that, get all that set up nicely, and then launch it. And I'll definitely let you guys know when that happens, if that happens. So it's been on my mind lately. I think I'm gonna push play on it, man. I really am. And who knows where it happens. I just got to be careful because we all know when it comes to anime and especially Dragon Ball, you got to be careful with these YouTube channels when you're covering this type of stuff. You got to walk on eggshells. You got to know what to post, what not to post, because the channel may not last long at all. So I'm gonna definitely look into that. Make sure my research is tight. And it may just be me on camera talking about Dragon Ball, my affinity for it, and to save my ass, to keep my ass from getting struck down and losing the channel. So I'm gonna figure all that out for you guys, and I'll readdress this at a later date. But with that being said, that is gonna do it, guys, for the podcast. My throat is itchy as hell. Like I said, I'm trying to fight this cold, and I had a great time. I had a great show. I mean, I feel that I had a lot to talk about this episode, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope to see you guys again, all the newcomers. We do this every fucking Monday, same bad time, same bad channel. Before I get out of here, I want to encourage everybody to check out www.StudioMaguyver.com. Definitely show your love for the podcast if you like the show. If you want to show some support, you can do that. There's plenty of things you guys can do. My social media handles are there. The website will also take you to some free music that I've done. There's also merch you can buy. You can get you some warm butter t-shirts, hoodies. You can get a lot of other things as well there. So I encourage you guys to do that. Everything you buy will definitely go towards helping the podcast. Also, check out DragonBallDrip.com. You can get your Dragon Ball stuff there. I've got designs I'm working on currently now, and it will be up shortly. So right now I got one design, but it's different things. I have hats, t-shirts, and mugs and stuff you guys can definitely take a look at there. Stickers, I think, as well. And I'll be adding new stuff as the months go by. So be looking out for that. I just finished a dope design, and I'm working on another one. So I'm always doing something, moving and shaking, and I hope you guys enjoy all of that shit, okay? With that being said, I'm getting out of here now. I love you guys. This is Studio Maguyver, and you have been listening to Studio Maguyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast. See you next time.